Hello, my name is Brian from Avocadata. This is the third video of this series, how to set up your free Avocadata white label data commerce agency. So let's get on to the third part of this video. Now, if you guys haven't used the system yet, I hope you guys have, but if you haven't, let's just run through 30 seconds. So it's very dynamic. All those different combinations we showed in the last video of the different data you can offer, this is what the product offering turns into. The feature I'm going to show on your white label now directly builds the widget that we have in front of us as soon as Mr. Avi gets out of the way. All right, so now we are able to see our find our audience. So we haven't fully optimized this yet for our own use case with Datatoleads, but what this is it basically allows you, the data agency, to try to simplify yourself's life. For instance, a lot of people come in asking for 1099 self-employed. Now, there was a formula to get this result, right? And it was done through a combination over here. I compare it to your Fidelity account. You have your deep interactive trader use case that you can see the spread on options, calls, puts, a lot more data basically. Overwhelming amount of data if you really don't have an idea or interest in learning. So we started adding second dashboards, third, fourth, and actually very shortly you can customize with not through a widget. I hate the widget machines. That won't be for a while, but CSS, JavaScript, HTML, that we will make a lot of videos training people on, because I didn't know any of it really. I knew formulas and math. ChatGPT in a year and a half basically simplified everything with how to build better websites. We'll talk about that in the next video down here for homepage. So we went off and we just saved this dashboard. Now, if you want to keep your clients in a tight little box, they can't do those things entirely. So we can take a look here that we have the same info. So we're going to go with look for homeowners. So I have these options both turned on for Datatoleads, but you could remove the build custom list, and they're just forced with this by default. Then they are tasked with picking a list that they might have saved. And we haven't gone over that just yet, but we will in a short moment. So we picked Spanish speakers in Colorado. And we want to make sure everyone has a cell phone and make sure they don't live in an apartment. And again, you can turn these fields off for your clients and just have them fit a box. But after doing that, we're left with 1,379 individual leads. A question to ask is, why are they here? And that should be the question anyone asks with AI, quote unquote. So let me, healthy skepticism. So I'm just going to switch this back so I don't confuse my clients. But if we go off and we take a look here, we have our custom list, right? So everything that was on that dashboard, these are all the lists. Like, remember the 1099 people? I called it 1099 self-employed workers, cell phone included. Why? Well, this is where the unique white labeling comes in, because we figured. So let's start with this. A lot of this business data came from people who took an SBA loan, more specifically a PPP loan. And if any of you have been involved with ERC or PPP or And obviously, if you do SETC, if you're looking for 1099s, a lot of people file the PPP loan and never had a W-2 employee. So long story about that. But either way, after just using the data for so long, found out a lot of these people with under 5 employees really were never W-2 employees. They were 1099s because they did not qualify for ERC. So logically, in my own calculation, if you are under 5 employees on that document, you're more likely not 1099. And I try to simplify my clients' lives even more by controlling the age group a bit. So that way, to ensure that, even though we might make the list a little bit smaller, from experience, avoiding headaches is very nice. Questions are good, but it's sometimes very easy to get stuck in a rabbit hole of infinite questions that there technically might not be an answer to. And we can do this with other things too. We pointed out Spanish, for instance, right? Right here. Now, a few things I want to point out. Again, this is just my standard thing I do with age, and actually I might, oh yeah, because homeowners, that's why I did that. So logically speaking, if you're a homeowner, you're most likely not younger than 26. This is even pushing it. And again, I could have raised this limit. But how do I know they're Spanish? Well, this is the data science part. It is not advised, and we don't allow the end user to filter with these filters. And we moderate it on the white label agencies too. So this is used in a unique way because if you do the math, that leaves 65%. 10 plus 25 is 35. 35 minus 100 is 65%. That means a neighborhood would need to be at least 65% non-white and non-black. There are very few communities in this country with a majority ethnicity of Native American, Alaskan, or Asian. So going off of census data and what we know and our own logic about being Americans, this is the most logical solution I've come up with. And when we actually see it, and let's go take a look, by default, obviously we have some Asian names, Vietnamese, but that's the idea. Because we picked a neighborhood that's 65% potentially Latino. So that doesn't mean there won't be non-Latinos. But statistically speaking, if you were to do this type of search, you will more likely than not speak with people who do speak Spanish. And I'll argue maybe not the younger ones, but and that's the thing with data. It changes all the time. You have to re-observe it. Now, I did one other interesting thing here, which was the higher income households. And I did that a few times, depending on the state. And what I tell people is this number here, median income range. So obviously, I do, again, my filtering, and I actually make it a little bit younger just because I don't want people with bad intent going after people who might be, I don't know why I put 2016 there, but the main thing I wanted to show is the income. This by no way means the person you're calling on the other line makes $80,000 a year. But if we were going to go take a look at a national income, So right here, 80,000, we'll round. It's 2022, it might even be higher with inflation, but it's just about that. So what that means is, if you were to pull someone who's at 75 and you were to pull somebody who was at 150, it's fair to assume that those two people make almost twice as much money as the other household. It should not be used as a definitive number, but more of an arbitrary measurement to know where it ranks in terms of everything else. And then if you have people who do solar, for instance, you have the ability to remove apartments, leaving you with just single resident homes. So if you want to simplify your customer's life, let's go take a look at some of the ones we may have already made for ourselves. Homeowners with children, active mortgage. We'll get into that in another video. I actually didn't make any list just for homeowners only. Yeah, so that's something we'll make in another video. We'll put together an application. So again, thank you for watching this. We're going to release a fourth video, and I'm going to go over how to create promotions. You're going to be able to retarget people via email if they, let's say, search for something specific. So we'll go over that in the next video. Thank you, and if you have not already, please subscribe right below and leave a comment with any questions of other videos that you think we can put out. We're going to be doing this as frequently as possible. We actually have a school community we set up, and I'm going to make a whole series on that. So appreciate it. Subscribe. See you later.